Alright guys, welcome back to another Phantom Pair video. So in this video I wanted to go over the limited time characters that are going to drop and or have already released during this summer anniversary, the celebration, this 1.5 anniversary. There are a lot of limited time characters going to drop and have their rerun banner. So just wanted to make a priority list. One thing I wanted to first make notice of is that on JP, after Gojo's banner, they got Honor 1 Gojo, Shoko, and the Nanami's banner. We are getting the OG half anniversary, the Domain Gojo, Zone G, and Blue Sukuna banner. But I'm still going to consider these characters also in my tier list. So let's first begin with Mahito. So Mahito still is a support sub DPS for a red and still is pretty top tier. No one has, like, there is no alternate for this guy, and I don't know how they will power creep this guy. But when you transform with him, this guy gives damage received debuff for 4 turns. He also decreases their crit resistance and he increases his own Jujutsu, so he does more damage. His ult is also the same, so you don't miss out on a debuff turn if you are ulting. His skill 1 and skill 2s are also debuffing. Overall, this guy is pretty top tier. Plus, one of the most important thing about this guy is his break damage. The break damage this guy does, if you guys like underestimate break damage and haven't noticed that every character, every DPS from now on has a break damage specific skill, like not a specific skill but a skill that has break damage on it, you are underestimating break damage. Because if you break, that's basically 2 free turn and that boss takes increased damage those 2 turns. A character having already a dope ass kit with his debuff and stuff has ability to break the enemy. That's his top tier. Same with 0.2 Gojo. I don't even need to open his kit because skill 2 he gives himself buff. Skill 1 he does a lot of nice damage, break damage, gives himself healing and stats when he black flashes. And his ultimate is just like Domain Gojo, Red Domain Gojo, but his is half. So for Red Domain Gojo is for 4 turns 300%. Blue Gojo has it for I think 2 turns and 150%. And when he leaves the field, he buffs the remaining allies for 4 turns, tier 4 turns, which is dope. Like he is on field, off field, he is supporting the team while also doing dope damage, just like Yellow Gojo. But Yellow Gojo has a thing that he gives permanent buff when he leaves the field, and like his turn restricted buff, but that is still massive. So Mahito and Gojo are priority. Like you should like save for them and go for them even with new limited time characters. But there are also characters that are going to release that you can summon, can skip. They're nice to have because they have some alternate option. Obviously, with gacha games, you guys know there is a first version of a kit a character gets, and then later on in the future when power creeps happen, the same kit gets upgraded into a different character. So there are some characters like that, and you can either go for them or just use the previous version 1 of that kit type archetype. So I'll talk over the alternative also. Like you guys can see the bottom 2 rows. Green Todo, nice support DPS, not sub DPS. DPS supporting the slot 3 character, gives Black Flash support. I think our one and only Black Flash support character. I need more of those because Black Flash is so good. The animation is top tier. So, but you can. This guy is nice to have. You don't necessarily need him. There is alternate options that are better than him, and there are some free character, limited character that I will talk about. Oh, the free character is an alternative. It's not even in the rankings. Well, that's all right. Shibuya Yuji, I think he's still one of the best DPS in the game. Like if you don't consider any attribute typing, best DPS. But for red, there are still some options that still work. They are not out of meta. So Shibuya Yuji, if you get him, you will not need another red DPS for like ages. Going for him is understandable, but there are still some alternate options. So that's why he's a nice to have. Yellow Gojo is a stat buffer, and we have a stat buffer, Yellow Shoko. She can heal also, but like I said with Yellow Gojo, he's a support maniac. a support bank, support battery. His support scales higher than Shoko's, and when he leaves the field, he gives a permanent support. Too good of a character. To balance him out, they gave him zero damaging skills. Like if you damage, use a skill 1 that damages, it only gives a crit support. His buff skills, his ultimate does not do any damage, and it's understandable because the buff he gives is like broken. Green Megumi is Green Geto, but better. He is AoE. Geto is single target, and he not only gives stat debuff, he also somewhere gives like a small amount of damage debuff also. Let me just quickly pull him up. Like a skill 1 gives break damage on enemy, and skill 1 extends the stat debuff he does by 1 turn if you are out of this CE. So skill 2 is his debuffing skill, 50% for 3 turns, so that's a total of 150%. Geto does give for 4 turns, but it is also for a total of 151% stat debuff, which is the same, and it takes 1 more extra turn to stack up. Megumi is already looking better, but this fucker also is an AoE, not in his skill, but his ultimate is AoE, his skill 3 is AoE, and you need AoE because the summer events are mainly focused for the new Calamity event that is going to drop 2 days from now, or whenever I'm posting this on the 7th August. Today is 5th. That event needs AoE characters because I think there are going to be multiple enemies and you need to clear them as quickly as possible and get a higher score. I will make a video on Calamity event and how you should build your box, so like and sub for that. His skill 3 gives a damage receive debuff and gives support stat buff for the ally behind, which is crazy. Not only is he a stat debuffer, he's also a support buffer, but his ultimate, it's AoE, and he gives stat debuff for to all the enemy for 22% for 3 turns, and also increasing break damage and crit hit resistance, decreasing crit hit resistance by 5% for 3 turns. So his kit is basically Geto's but 2 times better. But Geto can still work. Only in the Calamity event you will find the gap, the emptiness of not having green Megumi. I was going to go for him, but Gojo, man, Gojo is so good. I had to do some summons, and I will make a part 2. I'm still grinding my cube, so make sure to stick around for that. So Megumi, nice to have. We have an alternate though. Zonji is also nice to have. Our only yellow UG and our only good physical DPS that works everywhere. My SP of Mekamaru has not betrayed me still, so the meta can still make use of Mekamaru. You guys can still use yellow Toji. He is in the standard banner, so there are some alternatives for a physical yellow attribute. So that's why he is nice to have, not a must have. Domingo Joe, another nice to have. Early game, he is top tier. Like if you wanna do a reroll, now is the time to make another account, reroll, get this Domingo Joe, and you can farm that account as fast as possible. I am doing that strat, making alternate accounts and grinding the 6k friend invite cube. Let me know if you want a video on that. One of my Discord mates, Tenji, introduced me to that strat, so I will be happy to tell you guys about that too. So these were my nice to have. Now, if you don't have an alternate for this, or your alternate is a weak ass character, so yellow Sukuna, a pure DPS, his alternate is Team Gojo. You guys can see here, Team Gojo can still do his job. Obviously, Team Gojo will take a lot of more turns than Sukuna because he needs to build up. He needs to like build his damage debuff on the enemy and stuff. So he will take some time to clear it, but he can still clear the Jujutsu floors. Blue Nobara again, like Megumi, is a curse technique DPS, and she is made for the Calamity event. In the Calamity event, you need AoE, and Nobara is an AoE DPS. She also does like 6% debuff or buff on the enemy. I think debuff, stat debuff, but that's minor. So you don't specifically need this if you're like going for tower. She's AoE, but her single target DPS is still like top tier. But if you have Yuta, if you got Yuta, or who is another curse technique blue character, damaging character, I don't know, let me know in the comments. But blue Yuta, if you have him, I think you don't need to go for him. But if you don't have blue Yuta and you don't have any other alternate standard banner character, you have to go for her, because how you should summon is to tick mark every pot in your box. So if you have a curse technique DPS for blue, you don't need to go for a curse technique DPS. But if you don't have a curse technique DPS for blue, you should go aim for that, even if there is a good physical red character. But you got a physical red character, a good character, don't go for a physical red character again. Make sure to take checkbox the empty spot in your box. So that's why she is here. If you don't have a good alternate or a weak alternate, go for her. I have Yuta, so I won't be going for her. Green Shoko now, because of SV of Miwa, has her value a little bit lowered. Her heal is still good, makes you survive longer, but the stat buff, Miwa can do that. That's why she is in no alt or weak alt. Honored 1 Gojo, brother. Honored 1 Gojo is such a disappointment for me. His damage is pretty good, but it's not that good. But you can still work with him for curse technique DPS. Who is another curse technique DPS for this guy? Green character. Muta, where is he? This guy. If you got him, if you have Choso with Muta, I think you can like do some pretty nice curse technique damage. Green Gojo, man, if only he was AoE, but makes sense that he's single target on his ultimate because it's a single target ult in the series. Teen Nanami, Mahito do the same thing, but Mahito does a debuff and Teen Nanami does a buff. So for boss stages where you cannot debuff, Mahito won't be that useful, but Teen Nanami can be. Nanami can be left out now that we also have Red Momo, but he's still good because of his break damage receive debuff he doesn't on his skill 3. Obviously it needs 30 CE. 50% damage dealt increase buff for 4 turns while also doing some damage. Pretty good, but if you have other options like our boy Mahito, you can skip out on this guy. You know what, because we don't have any other good alternative for this other than SR Nanami, this guy, and SR Nanami only buff, he does not do any damage. I think if you wanna go for him, if you don't have any alternative, I should go for him. I don't have any good alternative for a buffing damage dealt increase buffer. He's a pretty good character. Skip these characters, tier list character. This row for skip UG. If you're going for 0.2 Gojo, you don't need any other physical DPS because we have SV buff Nanami, this guy. So just have Gojo and Nanami and your physical is set for life. Obviously he is a good character. This does not portray the rankings, the power level. This only portrays the summon priority. And if you have any other option, and if you don't have any option, I'm just going to bring that in light to you guys for you guys to make a nice plan for your summons to use your cube if you're free to play. Blue Sukuna 830k cubes from me and then come home, but he already was power crept after like a few months of his release, and now we have Yuta, we have Blue Nobara in a few days. You don't need this guy. He is nerfed the fuck out. His SP buff have to give him some one-hit KO shit. Otherwise, he will not be meta anytime soon. So that's why he is kept. Unlike UG, UG is top tier physical DPS. But if you are going for 0.2 Gojo, if you have SP buff Nanami, you don't need to go for UG. And now that I've talked about the new characters that are dropping soon or rerunning their banners, I'm going to talk about alternate options. For Green Todo, CG UG and SV of Miwa, they can pretty much hold the field for the lack of Green Todo. So that's why if you have them, got them, you don't need to summon for Green Todo. Red UG and Red Doji, their combo together can compete. I should not say compete because the damage is nowhere near, but they can do half the damage this guy does. So what basically is happening is for one slot you have to use 2 slots, so you cannot have like 3 supports or a sub DPS, extra sub DPS, but instead you only have 2 slots to work with, so only 2 supports or 1 support, 1 sub DPS extra. That's fine. If you are a casual, you gotta make do with what you have. So Yellow Shoko is like Gojo because they are a stat buffer, so if you got her, you can skip out on him, but they both work well together also. So like me, you can go for Yellow Gojo and still have Yellow Shoko. Geto, Megumi, same shit what I said about when talking about Megumi. One more thing to note is Geto can only do one type of debuff per turn, but Megumi does both, apply both Taijutsu and Jujutsu debuff, so that he has like super value than Geto. Sukuna, Teen Gojo substitute. Nobara, Yuta as a substitute. Mahito and Gojo don't have any alternative, so that's why they are in priority. If you're wondering why I didn't talk about alternative for these guys, this is how you should be prioritizing your summons. Let me know if you got what you wanted. If you are planning on summoning for a character that is in nice to have or in the no alt weak alt row, let me know. And if you have any doubts about your summoning plans, ask me in the comment section. Join my Discord. I can help you there. I can guide you. As a free to play, I know you gotta fucking plan this shit for months, and I still do some spontaneous multis here and there whenever I feel like it. I should stop that habit. I say that shit every time. I will not do this. I still do it, but that's just me. Uh, I can like help you though, but it's like that. To get the best advice about not smoking, you can only get that from a chain smoker. So that's it for this one. Let me know how you think about my priority and about how I set it. If you are a paid player, help your guys, help your fellow free-to-play players or dolphins or fishes in the comment section. And I will see you guys in the next one. So that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.